Good morning, Guardians. The Hijabi Gamer here, and my apologies for being late. It is the week of Black Friday, so go a little easy on me. I mean, generally it's a month of Black Friday, but this week in particular has been really busy, and I'll admit, I came home from work and it was just like, yeah, I can't. People seem to like to buy a lot of televisions this year. Anyway, I will be late also with the Xur location video this week because I'm working all night and into the next day, so we are closed Thanksgiving, but I have work at midnight, and I work all night Friday until like 2 o'clock Friday, 4 o'clock Friday. I can't remember exactly. So, yeah, I have like a 14-hour shift. So, by the time I get home, it will be late Friday. So, just a heads up, Xur's going to be late. Anyway, I do have the bosses for Challenge of the Elders. You can see I did finish it. I finished it surprisingly fast. I will be uploading a video. It's like a half an hour long. Normally it's like 45 minutes to an hour. That's a couple suggestions. Anyway, that aside, first off, what do we have going on in the world of Original Destiny? First off, for Crucible, combined arms, 6v6 vehicles, which you'd think sounds really cool, but I don't know. I find vehicles, I know people have pointed out, yes, I know you don't have to use the vehicles, but I feel like they're unusually bulky and like cumbersome. That could just be me. So 6v6 with vehicles, which is still kind of cool. You get a Treasure of Ages box and 10 legendary marks. Now, Crucible hasn't exactly been easy to get into, but combined arms. Next, for the weekly story playlist, which is the best way to farm legendary marks, we have Earth and the Moon, which are the early missions, in Original Destiny. These are the first missions. The only mission you will not get to replay in Original Destiny is the first mission. So the first mission in the game you do not get to replay. Everything else you do get to replay. The modifiers are heroic. Enemies appear in greater numbers and are more aggressive. Then you have exposure. Guardian shields are increased but do not replenish. And you have airborne. Players deal more damage while in the air. Now the best answer to exposure is, believe I have it with me, Red Death. If you don't want to have to worry about exposure, go with Red Death because each kill heals you and speeds up reloads. So it actually counters exposure. Every kill you get will heal you and you will regenerate shield. So Red Death, I have always recommended it whenever it comes up from Xur to pick up Red Death because it is great against exposure. And there's this one moment in Crota's End, I remember, that again your health did not regenerate, and Red Death was great for that. The heroic story playlist is, as I've said, the best way to farm legendary marks. You can get 20 or more for the first 5 missions you do, and you get a Treasure of Ages box the first time. Keep in mind you can only carry a maximum of 200 legendary marks. So once you get to 200, you will not get any more. So even if you should get, you will not get. You also can carry a maximum of 25,000 glimmer. Yes, when I get to 25,000, I buy heavy ambulances, but I'm on a goal to get over 1,000. Because I keep using them. Anyway, so yeah, make sure if you're not at 200 when you do these, but you could get over 100 legendary marks, which I remember when legendary marks were earned with a heroic story mission per day. So each day you would get a new mission, you have to log on daily, and you would get 15 legendary marks. Another way to get legendary marks, by the way, is a public event. The first public event you do each day that you get to a gold tier, you get 15 legendary marks. But again, you can only carry up to 200. So weekly story playlist, I like it. I think weekly story playlist is one of my favorite things to do. But then I like the simple fact that you can pick missions from the map. This is something I feel they should have brought to Destiny 2. But, I mean, I like replaying old missions. I miss playing old missions. I miss playing the Red War and Warmind and the Curse of Osiris and Forsaken. And you name it. I miss playing them. I'm really annoyed. So anyway, these are the weekly of this weekly story playlist. Next, you have the Siva Crisis Heroic Strikes, which every time I've done them, I have been matched with people. People are like, nobody's playing Destiny. People are actually playing Destiny. And every time I've gone to the tower, I have seen new people. The way you know someone is new, my criteria is generally under 1500 Grimoire, but I have seen people with a Grimoire of under 500. Don't go by the level or the light level, because I have a level 12 character, but my Grimoire is 4940. That's how you know I'm an old player, because my Grimoire is close to 5000. Anyone with a Grimoire of under 1500 is generally a new player. And 500 is a very new player. So every time I've gone to the tower, I have seen new people. There are new people coming to Original Destiny. And I highly recommend it. I think it's a great deal for the amount of content you get, even at full price. Anyway, that aside, Siva Crisis Heroic Strike playlist. I have been matched every single time. I have been surprised to find that I have been matched every single time. Every single time I've tried to do one. Anyway, the modifiers are heroic. Enemies appear in greater numbers and are more aggressive. And you have Void Burn. I do not have any of the Adept exotic Void weapons. I wish I did. Those you get from raids. Then you have Brawler. Guardian melee damage is greatly increased. And Ironclad. More enemies have shields. So if you do have, you could probably go with a variety. Like, for example, Abyss Defiant, Zala Supercell. Then that will give you a variety of elemental types. So when you go against enemies with shields, keep in mind, this is Original Destiny. They do not explode when you shoot them. The correct shield. Match the element type with the shield. Which I prefer, honestly. Because it has more challenge. So Siva Crisis Heroic. I've always found it interesting you get less legendary marks for doing strikes, since they take longer. You get, for 3 rounds, you get 10 each, and you get a Treasure of Ages box, which is the source of silver dust, cosmetics, and ornaments. Treasure of Ages box. So you could also buy them from Tessa Everest from the Everstore. But you can get up to 3 of them a week, so it's not really worth it. I mean, unless you really want. Anyway, next you have the Weekly Nightfall Strike. And the Weekly Nightfall Strike is the one on Earth that has been brought to Destiny 2, not the Will of Crota, Fallen Saber. Rush to the aid of the AI Warmind Rasputin as he broadcasts a plea for help across the system. This is the one where Ghost comments about how there's so few ballet fans left, which Ghost is a fan of ballet. Okay. Or Rasputin. Rasputin is a fan also of ballet. This is the one that you have to first defend the Warsat. Then you go underneath into the bunker. And the Warsat part is a pain in the rear. Anyway, the modifiers for the Nightfall are, you have Epic, which you'll always have, and heavily shielded and highly aggressive enemies appear in greater numbers. Then you have Small Arms. Primary weapon damage is favored, which is my favorite. Fresh troops. Some enemy squads have been fortified with additional reinforcements. Then you have Airborne. Players deal more damage while in the air. And finally, you have Exposure. Guardian shields are increased, but do not replenish. Which again, the best thing to use is Red Death. Each kill heals you and speeds up reload. So it will heal you if you use Red Death. Keep in mind, do not forget, I always remind every week, pick up the bounties for the Nightfall from Zavala. Zavala has 3 weekly Nightfall bounties. You need to remember to pick those up from Zavala. Cool. Then there are other bounties on the bounty board, but first and foremost, Zavala has 3 weekly bounties. So that's the Vanguard Nightfall. Next, you have Challenge of the Elders. Now, the bosses for Challenge of the Elders are Kexis the Betrayed, which is Taken, Fallen. Then the second is my buddy Val Araun, which is Cabal. Not Taken Cabal, Cabal. So this is the one with the Scions. So basically, anyway, let me just get all 3 of them first. Cabal, and then the third is Taken Vex, which was my surprise. I expected, given the modifiers, for it to be Psylocke. Now, Val Araun is the Cabal, where he has the Scions, and each one of them channels and generates a shield, and you have to kill them in a certain order. It's totally random. You can go once, and it'll start with the Void the Scion, die, go back, and he will have a totally different one as the first. So you have to kill those, and each time you kill one of them, the boss becomes vulnerable. Personally, my strategy with dealing with Val Araun is to kill all 3 Scions and then deal with him, because then he becomes a regular boss instead of having to deal with the Scions and having to get rid of all of the ads, deal with them. So you do not have to deal with the ads and the Scions. Once you get rid of all the ads and then you deal with the Scions, you can each rounds of reinforcements will come in. It's basically a regular boss. Now the modifiers for this week are grenade kill bonus, which is a bloody pain in the rear. I prefer precision kills, but that's just me. One note though, if you are running Hunter, okay, the precision kill, the grenade kill bonus is the same as getting a precision kill with your throwing knife. You get 80 points for the first round, so you get 160, and then you triple it to 240 with the grenade kill bonus. However, if you go with the melee kill / precision kill with your throwing knife, because your throwing knife counts as a melee kill and a precision kill if you get a precision kill, if you get it in the leg. And since it is solar burn, you will be one-shotting everything with a precision kill with your throwing knife. So you will get the same amount of points. Now, my problem is I killed these bosses way too fast. Because so you have grenade kill bonus, you have juggler, which is a good and a bad. On the bad, you have to switch out your weapons. On the good, you will definitely get more heavy ammo. I definitely got more heavy ammo. And finally, solar burn, which my problem is I basically kill these guys way too fast because I have golden gun. I'm running golden gun with Celestial Nighthawk. Add the solar burn, and I think my run was like 30 minutes total, which normally takes about 45 to an hour, because like I just burn through the bosses. And the idea is you're supposed to go through them and kill the reinforcements. So you're not supposed to kill the boss too fast, because if you kill the boss too fast, you don't get as much enemies to kill, not as much points. So it's like at the end, I just basically burn through the bosses with my golden gun. So maybe be a little careful with that, or you will find that the boss is dead before you know it. But again, like I said, if you go with the knife juggler, which precision kills with throwing knife immediately reset its cooldown, you get the points for a melee kill, get the points for a precision kill, which are the same as a grenade kill. Make sure you don't hit him in the head from behind. I did that a few times and it doesn't count as a precision kill, which you'd think if you're hitting someone from behind as well as from the front, still a precision kill if you get him in the head. I'm just saying. Sense. But hey, if you're like me and you're more of a fan of precision kills and throwing knife kills, that also works. Anyway, so again, the bosses are oh god. Right. Texas the Betrayed, aka Taken Fallen, Val Araun, aka Cabal, and finally Taken Vex, because I can't remember the name of the boss. But he's a pain in the butt, and he's Vex, and he's Taken. That's Challenge of the Elders. Don't forget, by the way, like I did, even though I did complete a run, to go with your House of Judgment reputation booster and to pop 3 of coins between each boss. I admit, I forget every single time. Every single time. I'm supposed to, at the very least, do a House of Judgment reputation booster, because if I had, I probably would have gone up a level, because I had like 4 bounties completed as well, which, by the way, yes, if you keep your bounties, if you don't complete it from last week, you can still keep it and get credit for it. So I had like 6 bounties, and I completed, well, no, I probably had like 5, and I completed 4 of them, and yet, so yeah, don't forget the House of Judgment reputation booster and 3 of coins between bosses. Okay? Cool? We cool. Right. Next, finally, we have the weekly featured raid, heroic, Vosic challenge, Axis challenge. Yeah. That's Vault of Glass. Cool? Anyway, again, a reminder, I will be late with the location video this week. It will probably be around 5 or 6. I don't know. It depends, because I may come home from work and just collapse for a couple of hours. I will try to make a Zero location video, But keep in mind, I will be working from midnight. So Friday midnight. Well, Thursday midnight, Friday early morning midnight. You know what I mean. All day through Friday until like 2 o'clock. So I will have a 14-hour minimum shift. Because knowing me and knowing the fact that it's Black Friday, knowing how busy it's going to get, I probably will not leave until after 2. I think I'm scheduled until 2. Maybe 4. So I will try to make a video as soon as I get home, but I'm also working Saturday, so I will not be live streaming on Saturday because I also have work on Saturday. And I figured even if after work, I'm just going to be totally out of it. So anyway, stop. The retail person, highly recommend it. Black Friday. Thank you for watching. Oh, happy Thanksgiving. Forget about that. I get so caught up in the whole Black Friday thing and the holidays that I forget about the actual holidays. So people have been wishing me happy Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh yeah. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, see you around the tower.